Success to me is finding a meaning to life and living a life resplendent in meaning.
Is whether or not I have fulfilled my calling and things that I feel God has as a purpose for my life in specific.
Going out and achieving what you wanted to achieve at the highest possible level.
I think the funny thing about success is that I don't know if we ever actually get there, but I think we're on a journey towards it. I think I am in a place that is more successful than I was a decade ago, but I think there's so much more that I would like to do. There's better community that I'd like to build. There's work that I'd like to create. So I think it's always a moving target.
I feel that I've reached success several times and that I have slipped back several times. And so success is not a destination so much as it is a continual journey.
The day that I stop pushing the success goal line further away from me is the day that I give up.
In my professional life, I've had a few moments where I felt like this huge failure.
Probably the biggest failures for me have been in relationships, and not just romantic relationships, but relationships in general.
So when I first moved to LA, I spent the first 2 years freelancing, and that was some of the roughest times of my life. It was hard to get work. It was right after the writer's strike. It was incredibly difficult. And then in the years that followed that, I spent 6 years working as a janitor.
I had spent more than a year working on the show and on all the different moving parts and traveling with it and meeting people around the world that had such passion for what we were doing at ADRA. And I just wanted to get that message out there. And that budget was denied at the time. And it felt like this huge failure to me.
And that was an incredibly difficult time and terrifying. And talk about thinking if you made a mistake, that certainly felt like a mistake at times, you know.
You fall down and you're like, that's it, I'm not picking myself back up and trying again. Like, that's failure.
When I started looking for work, nothing was there for 4 years. I looked for work and found nothing. And that was deeply scary.
And maybe like the getting up is not doing that thing again, but getting up and trying a different way or a different path. But as long as you were still getting up again.
Every failure is a learning opportunity. Every single one.
I think my advice to students would be to dive into failure, in fact, not to avoid failure. And I think sometimes I was too cautious, and I should have just been trying more. Because I think by diving into failure, it only then becomes a failure if you walk away from that point.
The hard truth is sometimes if you feel like a failure, you might be. It's okay to give up if film isn't for you. I would say pull the Band-Aid off quickly. If you're going to quit, then quit. If you are someone that refuses to quit, then don't let doubt stop you. Keep going. Never stop.